video concerning what happened yesterday, and the energies were so intense yesterday. Oh my goodness, it felt like, I'm talking about the 4th of July. The energies were super intense. I was in Cornwall, I'm still in Cornwall, and it felt like everything was like this major pressure cooker. And it felt like whatever I said or posted, people were being very triggered energetically. And there was a lot of talk about CERN. I don't know what happened with CERN. I don't know if any of us would really know. There was lots of debate that it was deactivated, it was turned off. Some of you won't know what actually even CERN meant. But it felt like there were lots of different energies and timelines running, but I always sleep well. I don't know about you, but I always sleep well. And if you want to add a comment or anything, please do in the chat. But I woke up feeling just absolutely incredible, like incredibly amazing. Like, when you always sleep well, but this was something else. This was like some really expanded feeling of just feeling amazing, like you've been through something huge, like almost like you've been inside a washing machine and you've come out the other side of this washing machine and everything just looks brighter and cleaner and more calm. And that's how I feel the 5th of July is for me today. And I've fixed my phone in a way that I thought was really good. Ooh, I don't think you want to see me really close up. So hold on 1 second. I'm going to fix this while I talk to you if I can. I've got some sellotape, I've got some sticky tape, and I will fix this. Because like I said yesterday, I'm new to doing lives on my phone. So I was trying to do it on my phone. So back to the plot of CERN with my sellotape and my sticky tape, which I won't use. Or maybe I will. I'll just put a little bit here. It just might help hold my phone in place if you saw how I'm holding this phone in place. So back to the plot about the energies and everything that was going on. So I just feel super lifted in myself, Yes, Stephanie's saying she woke up with a lot of clarity to her goals. Yeah, that's what it feels. It feels like clarity. It feels like ability to move ahead. And I think a lot of people who were triggered yesterday, it was the ability to read information and not put any negativity or positivity on it. It's just to read information without being emotionally triggered by what the content is, to remain neutral and be in your own energy, not that you're being triggered by external information changing how you feel, and then to allow your own self to experience how you feel. So it's just experiencing how you feel rather than all this information is useful. It's interesting information. It may be too out there for some of us. I posted a big article. It wasn't my information. Hello, Christine. Thank you. It wasn't my information. It was someone else's information. But I feel that for a lot of people, it's new learning about multidimensional beings. Obviously, I have made videos and posts about that from my awakening 22 years ago, that I was helped by interdimensional beings. I was doing hand rewiring over my body, activating my own energy field. I was told not to work for 3 months, and I did this. This is 20 odd years ago now, when these big awakenings were happening for me. So you need to rest. You need to know when there's upgrades coming in. I've really not worked that much this last week with a few clients, but not really many. And what is coming up for people now is a lot of inner child. And people say, oh, I thought I'd looked at that. But then when we start going into it, they realize there's another layer and there's another layer. And the thing with the inner child is it's the gift that keeps giving, because you are going to get to the bottom of this, and it's going to change your relationships with yourself. It's going to change your relationships with other people, and especially in a romantic relationship, because a lady only today was saying to me, that she loved this person, but the fact that you loved this person doesn't mean the love has to end because that person's removed themselves from your reality. If you realize that the love that they were helping you find was the love that is inside of you, just because they've gone, the love does not have to end. You know, this loving ourselves. I mean, if I look back at where I was perhaps 20 years ago, and if I look at where I am now as a sort of 52-year-old, I didn't think that if I hadn't got children or I hadn't met a lifetime partner, I would be able to be in this graceful space of peace and being in myself and be okay about that. That doesn't mean we're not open to relationships, but it's that we're actually happy in the space that we're in at the moment. So all these energies are affecting us to push us like a pressure cooker to release what isn't your authentic self, what is not really you. Deborah's saying, I think we all need to relearn how to play and laugh. Yeah, and have fun and be like, you know, the inner child that is inside of us. And when I work with clients to heal this inner child, we're bringing that part of you back, and you are going to parent this inner child. You're going to love this inner child version of you, and you're going to give your inner child all the things that perhaps were not possible by your parents in childhood, or by the reaction of that fragmented aspect of your own inner child and how it reacted to its childhood. You're going to see it through the wise adult that you are now, that you are this wise adult that can parent your child. And that's you, and you're going to have fun and play. And it's not that we can't, you know, pay our bills and be grounded and earn a living out of living our joy. We can do all those things. You don't have to give up one for the other. They can all flow in beautifully and allow your life to evolve forward into this new space. And even if things did happen yesterday on a multidimensional level with things like CERN, we wouldn't necessarily be told this, we'll just feel it. And what I felt was a positive shift energetically. So in my personal reality, I felt like a positive shift. Now, in your personal reality, I don't know how you experienced it. Only you will know how you experienced it. And if there's any stuff that we've got to still clear, whether that's past lives or even bringing in skills and gifts from past lives, you know, I see people accessing skills and gifts from past lives. I see people bringing in gifts from ancestors. I see people clearing limiting beliefs around their gifts and how to get them out into the world by going into their past lives and healing that. That's what we do. But we're weaving. It's no use just doing past life regression. You've got to be able to weave between past lives, ancestral, see if there's any entities attached, inner child, weaving between all that. And then also, you know, going into our galactic selves. Oh, Deborah says she feels much lighter. Yeah. And you know, I personally speak light language. I've spoken light language since a child, but like all of us, the confidence and the tonation and the vibration of those codes has evolved over time as I've become more confident. Many of you know I got mugged and strangled when I was younger, and that affected my throat and my ability to speak. I've talked about this before. So when I bring in the light language codes now, my voice isn't corrupted. And Deb's saying the energy feels much lighter. Yeah, it feels so much lighter. And I'm at the beach and it feels really just expansive and flowing. So we need to sit in this space and we need to think about what we feel our energy wants to create going forward and the opportunities that we are going to bring to ourselves by, you know, your frequency, your vibration means you're a vibrational match to opportunities and experiences that you want. And how we talk to our bodies, you know, how we talk, we can identify there are things we maybe wish were maybe different in our bodies. We need to speak to our bodies if those have already happened. And if there's some inner work that you need to do to come into alignment, that's what's going to happen. You're going to be shown what you need to clear to come into alignment with that higher vibrational version of you. And so does anybody have a question or anything else they'd like to share? I know it's very impromptu for me to do this. And I said it was warm yesterday. It's quite warm today. And I'm going to go swimming again today. So if anybody has anything they want to share in the chat, because this is a live, and normally I just do the lives on Facebook. Oh, I've actually got this. I bought this the other day. Look how cool this is. It's a fan. It's really good though when it's warm to just, yeah, look up CERN. I did make a post on Facebook yesterday, so you can go into the detail of CERN and links to the Hadron Collider and all this stuff. I don't want to spout the wrong information, so I would say look up various people. I understand it. It's like a lot of us, we understand things, but we can't necessarily communicate that outwardly to people, and it's head information. Yeah, a lady saying it's the Hadron Collider in Geneva, which it is. Some people say it was dismantled by some benevolent ET races, and the more benevolent ones have got control of this now, and you know, all this energy. So I personally feel something good happened yesterday, something positive happened to shift some energy for all of us, or for the benevolent beings on planet Earth. And so, yes, in the 3D reality, there's more challenging things and more constrictions coming in. I saw it today. Some of my friends were talking about the schooling system changing, but it's up to us. What we embody in our vibration can change that reality. This is why when we do this inner work, we do our meditation, and whether our meditation is actually listening to a guided meditation or it's just walking in silence with yourself and nature, whatever it is that gift for you. Yes. Deborah's saying we can all create what we want by believing we can. Yeah, that's the power. I mean, the thing is, we don't realize how powerful we are, and nothing in the 3D matrix wanted you to know how powerful you are. They wanted you to believe you always needed, like, you know, from a religious point of view, you always needed this middle person to connect you to that divine source, whereas you are the divine source. And I know in regression, when I'm working with clients, you know, I will have, oh, phone's going to shift again, hold on. I will have an amazing session from my perspective, and my perspective is from 22 years experience. I've got some experience to compare sessions to with people. So for someone to say, oh, I think I made that up, yet they've never done regression before, yet they don't trust their inner world, but yet they find it very easy to trust what they heard on a TV program, or they heard from a third party, a friend even, or they saw on the news. But taking somebody into their own inner world, and often we connect these beautiful multidimensional radiant gossamer beings who know their soul from the beginnings of time, and they connect with them and they communicate with them when we go between lives, so they have this personal experience for their own soul, what their own soul needs. Still, some people don't trust that experience, you know, and yet what you experience going into your inner world is your absolute truth. No one is projecting that onto you. That is your world, your inner truth. I'm very mindful in regression sessions that I only do in person. The ones on Skype are reading the emotional Akashic records, but when you're having a session in person, I'm very careful not to lead you in any way, to allow you to have the experience you need. Clive said, sometimes I feel that the current world is set up to, I couldn't read because it disappeared. Let me see if I can pull that comment up again. Hold on one second. I don't think I'm that good yet that I can pull up the comments after they disappear off to the screen. But I'm sure you can read them later, or you might just want to copy and paste it back in again. But yeah, nothing in the 3D matrix is to empower you back to yourself. It's to keep you in a limited bandwidth of reality. And obviously my big passion is to help people heal emotional aspects. And when you heal emotional aspects, your body follows suit. You know, if you heal your emotional stuff, your body will heal. I've done that work for years on myself, and I've healed myself. You've heard me talk in other videos. I've healed myself of abnormal cells on my cervix, polycystic ovaries. I've healed myself of an underactive thyroid. I've healed myself, my ankle I broke. You've seen me make videos about my ankle. If you know yourself, I mean, the great thing would be to avoid these things in the first place, so we keep our vibration so we're not in alignment with that. But sometimes these things happen, and then we have to look at what has been the cause and effect of that, and to know our power to go into that quantum field and heal ourselves. Sometimes you can just go into divine forgiveness. That's how I healed polycystic ovaries. I just in that moment went into divine forgiveness. Wonderful. Christina's healed herself of lupus. Oh, I have an interesting story around lupus. I'm sure you know way more than me on lupus. But when my mum was passing away last year, I started to manifest physically signs of lupus on my face, and I believe it was because it was, you know, a very stressful situation. I was nursing my mum with my 95-year-old dad before she passed away, and it was a very challenging passing. And because I got so stressed and anxious due to, you know, not being able to get a doctor to come and see her, and I didn't want her to have an autopsy report. So some of you might have seen that I did make a video on Facebook about that. So I don't want to go into that too much. But the stress of that manifested lupus in my body. And when I actually got my mum's medical notes after she'd passed, I saw back in her notes years and years ago, because she was 91 when she passed, that there was suspected lupus at some point. So it might have been there ancestrally, but given the right emotional stress and anxiety, it might manifest itself. It may be in my energy field, but if I keep my vibration in a higher frequency, those symptoms are going to rescind away. They're not going to manifest in my being. And then with Christina, you can sometimes go to the origin of why is that in your energy field. It might be ancestral, it might, you know, however you've healed it, well done, because, you know, that's our power. And that should be our first port of call. We've always got the option for the other choices. You know, they're always going to be there. But if we can do the inner work, that is our first port of call to heal ourselves, you know, because that's the gift that keeps giving. I just have a little bit of a fan because it's a little pink, it's a pink giraffe. To be mindful, and when you've understood this, you will be, yes, and humbled. Yeah, absolutely. You know, when you realize your power, and sometimes you think you've got power in one facet of your being, but if you're powerful in that one facet of your being, then there's no reason why you would not be powerful in the other facets of your being and your life. You just need to roll it out to these other areas of your life and your being. And it doesn't matter what the mainstream are trying to tell you. You are a universe in yourself. You have the power within yourself. Sometimes you need to reach out for help to go inwards. You know, that's the work that I do with people, helping people. I mean, today the client that I worked with was actually a therapist herself, but she needed a lot of help to help her heal this story that she's got running, that she's going to get to the bottom of, I know, and heal this inner child once and for all. And she will be a better therapist herself once we finally release the layers. And I say it's like soaking a baking tin. You know, think of yourself like a baking tin. When you soak that baking tin, it makes it easier to clean it. When you try and scratch away without soaking it, it's a lot harder. So that's the process that we're going through. And yes, and Journey of Soul Therapy, she's a therapist, saying, yeah, healers need healing too. And we have to constantly be working on ourselves. And also, you know, working with people can affect you, so you need to keep doing that work on yourself, and you can't do this work 8 hours a day every day. Christine says there's autoimmune conditions in the family, and I believe that I brought it. Yes, yeah, that's, you know, my mum had autoimmune issues. I believe my family has autoimmune on my mother's side. I believe that was there, and I've had to work to release that from my vibration, and that's what we're doing. We're going back to the origin of the trauma and releasing it so that we can heal these stories within our soul lineage and our ancestral lineage to clear this back to the neutral field. And sometimes it's more challenging than people thought, but it is, like I say, the opportunity is this is where we're at now. And sometimes you have to take a step back from our everyday life to be able to go inward, and not everybody prioritizes their inner world as their priority right now. So I hope that helps. Thank you for sharing your comments, because when you share your comments, people read those comments, and I enjoy looking at people's videos and my own videos, and I enjoy reading the comments. The comments that people write are often so interesting, so empowering, so wonderful. And just to say once again, I'm going to be at this conference on Sunday on the 10th of July in the Basis Conference. I'm gifting my time to the Basis Conference. Oh, thank you, Rainbow Warrior. Thank you. Oh, it's nice that you like to listen. And Stephanie is saying, shedding my need to heal others, trusting the universe will bring where it needs me to be. And she said something else, but I couldn't quite read that in time. And that's the other thing, you know, I don't wear glasses. I'm reading this from quite a long distance. That's why I'm a bit like that. But I believe you can heal your eyesight. That's a whole other story I've talked about before. When I was in a relationship, I didn't want to see the truth of what was going on. I lost my eyesight. I even got glasses and I never wore them, and then my eyesight healed. And funny, when I opened the case years later, they were just broken there. Now back to 2020 vision. You know, your eyes are always showing you. Hi Jan, much love. Jan has a gorgeous place in Glastonbury that many of you might have stayed at, opposite the Chalice Well, which is where I live most of the time, but I'm in Cornwall at the moment. So you can heal, you know, because it's the stress and the anxiety pushing on the back of the optic nerve, and the story of what do I not want to see? What don't I want to see? So sometimes that goes back to childhood. And then once you deal with the emotional story, the pressure on the optic nerve can release itself. And the story of what do I want to see? The same with hearing. What do I want to hear? You know, also if there was issues in childhood. So it's always important with eyesight going back to, you know, the day that your eyesight started to deteriorate. You know, always go back to the origin of things. Anyway, there's more I could share and more I could help you with on a more personal one-to-one level if that's something you feel drawn to. But for now, thank you so much for listening and joining me this afternoon. So much love and many blessings from my gorgeous little chalet, which you can rent if you wanted to stay here in Cornwall. It's called Sea Angel Beach Chalet, and I bought this from a meditation. If some of you've never heard me saying the story, I'd never been to Cornwall. I was meditating it when I lived in London, and this just popped into my vision. The message I got was, if you Google it, you'll find it. It took me 3 days and it was for sale, and I bought this cute little vintage 1930s chalet. It's a shack on the beach with the most stunning three-mile sandy beach in Cornwall, in Hale. So if you're interested in the chalet, I will at some point put a link below, but if you look on Facebook, it's Sea Angel Vintage Beach Chalet. So I send you much love. I don't think he lived there. I think you're thinking it was the other one called James lived there. It wasn't Max that lived here. I think it was James. So yes, so much, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was James, and I think his mother still lives in some part of here, and I do believe that he may also be somewhere in Cornwall as well. So anyway, much love to everybody for now. So many blessings, and I send you all much love. So bye for now from Cornwall.